Hey, what's up, YouTube? I've been gone for 2 months, as y'all can see. Reason being, I was kind of busy with the internship and stuff. Then recently, I have a surgery. I had a surgery, which is why I'm gonna show you this. There's a tube right here that connects to a machine. This machine here, and this machine essentially connects to my back. Right there. Yeah, it's in there. So, y'all might be wondering, what the fuck is that? I'm gonna tell you. Basically, what happened was I had a lump in my back, which the doctor said is a sebaceous cyst. What generally happens with that kind of infection, a medical issue, is that the sweat glands or the pore or whatever in the skin, under the skin, gets blocked, and all the sweat and oil and all that, it just accumulates and it forms a lump. Usually you can leave it be if it doesn't cause any problems, but basically mine got infected and the lump kind of grew and then it got painful and stuff, so I had to undergo an operation to get that shit out. So the post-surgery treatment for that is this. They essentially leave the hole open after surgery, so your tissues and your muscles will naturally grow back over time. And then they fit this machine, this tubing in and around the hole. So they put a dressing there, and then they put the tube which goes into this machine. And what this machine essentially does is it generates negative pressure in the hole, so sort of creates this vacuum, this seal, and also acts as a sucking mechanism to suck out whatever liquid and fluids that sort of generates out from that hole, because it's in your body, obviously, so there's stuff that leaks out from there. And I'll just show you. Actually, like right now there is this bit of clear liquid here, sort of semi-clear liquid. What that is discharge, like sweat, plasma, a little bit of blood maybe, and it all goes into a container fitted in this machine right here. Let me just open it up. It is hopefully not too disgusting. This is what it looks like right now. This has been here for about 2 weeks now. Previously I actually had a little incident where the wound wasn't like clotting properly, so there was bleeding a lot, and I actually have a picture of it. I'm gonna just put it up somewhere on the screen. But essentially what happened was that the blood was continuously pouring out into the container. So the 2 weeks that you see now, the discharge, that was essentially what was pouring out when the hole was still bleeding. The two weeks of discharge here was equivalent to the amount of blood that I was losing in a single sitting at the time. So I actually had to go into the emergency room, and the doctors had to well, the doctor and a nurse came in. It was like 4 a.m. in the morning, and they came in, put a bit of stitches in there to close up the bleeding, of course. It was all good and fine, all fine and dandy, and yeah, the wound has stopped bleeding for about almost 3 weeks now, thankfully, and the tissues are healing fine. So I've been given 1 month of hospitalization leave. So in the meantime, I've got a month, and figure why not get back into making a video or something, and updating the 39 subscribers, if they're even still around, here about my well-being. I had a bit of thought on the direction of where I want to take this YouTube channel as well, because the FMV, dating scene sort of died down already. I mean, I know that Road to Empress 2 is back. I'm waiting on a discount to get that one. Obviously this surgery and all this post-care surgery stuff has taken a chunk out of my finances, so yeah, I'm basically fucked, right? So in the meantime, what can I do? I figured, hey, I love football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, and World Cup has just ended. But let me tell you guys something, that Spain-Argentina final,
what the fuck is this piece of shit?
The England-France match, the one that was for third place, was a much better match. Anyways, World Cup is done and dusted, that's old news. People want to say it's old news. What is currently happening is the ASEAN Hyundai Cup, which was previously the Mitsubishi Electric Cup back in 2024, which I actually did watch that one. Vietnam won that one. I got into this whole thing about the region and how these countries around, Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore, Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia. I think Timor-Leste is the newest addition to this year's ASEAN Cup. There's this whole big thing, this whole big news about the naturalization, players being naturalized. The scouts from here, they go overseas and they're like, ooh, this player is playing in Cardiff City, which is in England. Or they'll find someone who's playing in the Dutch league, Ajax maybe, who knows, Ajax, I don't know, AZ Alkmaar or Groningen or something like that, and then they'll be like, yo, you have national ties to our country here, and then they sort of talk them in, or they manipulate them into playing for one of the countries here. And I guess you could say it is the same thing they did with Cape Verde, or Cabo Verde. Is that the right? I think that's the right way to say it. But Cabo Verde, that's one of the things that they did, was the Football Association for Cabo Verde, they went to the players that are in France or Germany or Italy, and they're like, you're good, but you're not good enough to make it to the national team for Italy or Spain or Germany or whatever. They're like, why not come play for us? You're guaranteed to start. Come play for us. And that's essentially what the countries in the region here, Southeast Asia, that's what they're doing with the other players. That's why you have players like, I believe his name is Perry Ng, which is why I brought up Cardiff City. He plays for Cardiff City, if I'm not wrong. And then of course Indonesia has a huge diaspora of Dutch players that they can bring in because of the whole colonization thing, I don't want to dive too much into the history and like geopolitics of it all, but essentially that's what's been going on. So yeah, I've been catching up with that ASEAN Hyundai Cup. I'm not gonna lie, it's not too bad of a competition. It's not too bad. Of the countries that I've watched, who are the ones that are worth watching? Obviously the powerhouse of the region is Thailand. They're miles ahead. The head coach, I gotta say, that guy, he knows how to win.
It's going to be very different, huh?
แล้วคืนนี้มันจะแตกต่างออกไป มันจะแตกต่างออกไป
Different outcome tonight.
นะผลลัพธ์จะแตกต่าง
But boys, we have to show humility.
จะบอกเลยเราต้องโชว์ความถ่อมตนด้วย
We've done nothing yet.
เรายังไม่ได้ทำอะไรเลย
We've achieved nothing.
เรายังไม่ได้อะไรกลับมา
We've had a good start.
เรา
That's
เริ่ม
it.
ต้นได้
I would say he's like comparable to like Jose Mourinho of the ASEAN Hyundai Cup.
Put them into a 3-0 lead. Ilhan got a goal back. Let's see what the second leg brings.
Wow, something going on there as well between Hudson and Gavin Lee. A few words being exchanged.
The way Thailand plays is sort of a bit physical. They are good. They are good. Especially that Tirasak guy, as from the recent, match, the semi-finals, Singapore against Thailand. That guy just banging them in, bro. Another team, Vietnam. I gotta give them their flowers as well. They've got this guy called Swan Son, who played in the previous iteration of this competition as well, and that's how I know about this guy, this Brazilian guy, Swan Son. People were saying like he's like the Adama Traore of Vietnam. He is like, no joke, dude. This guy is built like a tank and he scores goals. So yeah, he's gonna be the star player for Vietnam for a few years to come. I'm pretty sure, no doubt about it. Their front line looks extremely good, really good. I think there's this guy Nguyen Din Bak or something like that. He's like a rising star, 22 years old, plays for Chong An Hanoi, one of the top clubs in Vietnam, the V League as well. So yeah, really excited to see him in the next one. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be probably one of the star players as well. So really exciting team to watch, Vietnam. And of course, they're playing amazing football, bro. Like they're playing like Brazil, or at least the Brazil of Southeast Asia. Myanmar is another team that I thought were pretty good. Like in terms of in the middle of the pack, Myanmar is probably like up there, especially that match against Laos, I think, where they went and scored 7 goals. So the match was the match ended 7-2 and they scored 7. Holy shit, that match was insane. Like in terms of quality of football, it was pretty bad. If you watch the Premier League, if you watch Bundesliga, the top tier competitions, then yeah, it's pretty bad football. The defense for both sides, or at least the Laos side, was atrocious. But who cares, right? People watch football for goals, and that fucking match delivered. We've talked about Thailand, we've talked about Vietnam. I gotta say, Indonesia, a little bit underwhelming. You kind of expected them to be a lot more threatening, considering that they have, a diaspora of Dutch players like playing overseas in Europe. And at one point, they even had Patrick Kluivert. They had Patrick Kluivert, one of the legends of football, coaching their team, and somehow they still ended up kind of mid. But hopefully we'll see them do much better in the next ASEAN Cup, or the next. I think the next competition coming up is the Asian Cup, which means there's like countries like China, Japan, Korea, Tajikistan, from West Asia. I think like Oman, Saudi Arabia, maybe. I think I think they're involved as well. Yeah, so it's like a much wider, much larger competition coming up in next year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. But I guess this is like a precursor to that competition, the ASEAN Hyundai Cup. So we get to see a little glimpse of the Southeast Asian region. Maybe Indonesia will do better there. But so far this competition, they've been quite underwhelming. This country that surprised me that actually did well was Malaysia. Malaysia didn't actually do too bad actually. I would say based on the semi-final, they're going up against Vietnam right now. I'd say they're actually probably better than Singapore right now in terms of how they've performed. I think they might be better than Singapore because they actually put up a pretty good fight against Vietnam, and I've talked a lot of good stuff about Vietnam. I've talked big about Vietnam, but Malaysia managed to hold them quite well. I think the first leg of the semi-final, they actually held on quite well, and towards the end, Vietnam scored 2 goals, which goes to show that Vietnam are one of the top teams right now. But throughout the match, Malaysia kind of held their ground. They actually played pretty freaking good, and they had a couple of chances as well. Just like if they converted those chances, if only they did. But yeah, we'll have to see. Their second leg is coming up tonight. I might live stream that or record that as a video, and yeah, I'll probably post that much later. I've also been diving into Japanese football because of the World Cup. Obviously, 2022 I believe is when Japan came on my radar, and I was like super impressed. And the most recent World Cup as well, I thought Japan could go all the way. They got knocked out by Brazil. That one was a really good match. Like the history, the context and all that, I've been getting into J-League, the Japanese official football league. It was just in time as well because the J-League basically just started. Like match week 1 happened last week, and the second match week just happened this past weekend. I'm in there at a pretty good time. The direction for this channel is that I'm probably going to take it towards more football stuff, especially the Asian region. And I think there's not a lot of coverage for this region right now, like especially in Asia, Southeast Asia. So that's kind of what I want to do. Also, there's another country that I haven't mentioned, and that is Australia. I spent the better of my 2 years there doing my university bachelor's degree, but I never got a chance to actually catch a live match. And given the reputation for Australia's football scene right now, it's doing pretty good because I think they did actually make it to the quarterfinals, right? They went up against which country was that? Right, they went up against Egypt and they were knocked out by Egypt in the round of 32. Okay. The previous World Cup though, I think they made it to like the quarterfinals or the semi-finals, and then they got knocked out by, if I'm not wrong, it was like Turkey or something like that. Correct me if I'm not wrong, but yeah, they're actually doing pretty well in terms of like soccer, or that's what they call it there, soccer. Obviously people will say it's football, but yeah, soccer/football. Okay, A-League is probably one of the leagues that I will want to check out as well. Nestori Irankunda is a name that is floating around right now in Australia. Came from Adelaide United and I think got snatched up by Bayern, and I'm not sure where he's playing right now. Yeah, back then when I was doing my studies in Australia, he was still at Adelaide, and I actually wanted to catch one of the matches. I was studying in Melbourne, and there was a Melbourne City versus Adelaide United match which I wanted to catch, but never made it. A shame, huge shame. But yeah, he's still young. I think he's like 22 if I'm not wrong. So a long way to go and huge potential. And I really hope to see this guy wherever he is playing. So yeah, that's my life update at the moment. I'll probably do more videos talking about the J League because there is a YouTube channel that is officially doing live streams of certain J League matches, which can only be accessed internationally apparently. So thank you to that, thank you to that. Praise be that we have that sort of access here. So yeah, maybe in the next video I will try to pick a J League team to support. But yeah, hopefully the people who view this video, viewers, YouTube, I hope y'all are doing fine, y'all are doing well. And if y'all have any little bit of like health concerns or whatever about like, I don't know, skin rash or like a eye twitch, or there's a lump in your back, probably get that shit checked out early, or you might end up in my unfortunate situation. I'll see you guys. Stay safe, be well, peace.